Hey guys, so there are a few things that I want to talk to you about with regards to quick breads and yeast breads. So both of these types of breads are going to get a rise somehow. And the thing that's going to make them rise is what we call a leavener in the baking world. So for a yeast bread, that leavener would be yeast. And that is actually a living organism. Yeast is a fungus, and when you buy it at the store, it's dormant. So you need to wake it up. So a couple things that you're going to do that are you're going to feed it and you're going to water it just like a person. So you need to make sure you have the right temperature water depending on the type of yeast you're using. Usually people use active dry yeast. The water temperature or liquid, it might be milk, whatever that liquid is, should be between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. If you get above 115 degrees, you will kill it. And if it's below 105, it is not going to wake up as quickly as it would if it were warmer. Okay, so you want it at that temperature, and then you're also going to need to feed it some sugar. So that sugar could be in the form of like actual sugar. It could be honey. Some people add a little bit of flour, but that takes a little bit longer. This because the starch in flour does turn into sugar. So that's what you need to do. So after you add those things and you have the right temperature water and all that stuff, you're going to see your yeast start to get kind of foamy and bubbly looking, which is what it should look like. If it doesn't, that means it's not good anymore and you need to get rid of it and get new yeast. Okay, so that's how yeast bread raises. Quick breads are things like banana breads and other types of muffins that you would make, like blueberry muffins. Even pancakes are considered a quick bread. Those get their rise, they're leavened, they're risen from either baking powder or baking soda, which are chemical leaveners. Sometimes there's a combination of the two of them, and that actually happens pretty quickly. So the way that it makes the bread raise is the same with the yeast, because it's going to be the leaveners are going to be releasing carbon dioxide, which adds bubbles into the bread and makes it get bigger. So that's how it rises. It's the same for yeast breads and quick breads. But like I said, quick breads go a lot quicker. After you're done mixing the batter for the quick bread, those have to go right into the oven, and then you see it rise a second time once it's in the oven. Yeast breads, you mix all your stuff together. You need to let it sit out and rise. And then you have to kind of punch it down or push it down to spread out your air bubbles and relax your gluten. And then you need to let it rise again once it's in the right shape. And then once you put it into the oven, it gets what we call an oven spring. So it gets even bigger. That's that raise that it gets in the oven. Okay, so yeast breads do take a lot longer to bake, and quick breads are obviously quicker, which is why they're called quick breads. So that's my little spiel about quick breads and yeast breads, but you guys will be reading more about them in the packet that is in your Google Classroom. I just wanted to give you a brief overview so you weren't confused by words like leaveners or raising agents, and just tell you basically what the main difference is between the two types of breads.